In five, four, three, two, one. Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to What's the Dillies podcast. What's the Dillies podcast is a podcast I created to bring the dance community closer together by bringing you behind the scenes and intimate minds of my favorite dancers in hopes that it can help you on your dance journey too. And for today's guest, we have representing Example Fams, representing 603 Boogie Squad, representing NZ Lockers,
Yeah.
all the way from the Philippines. We have YG Example,
Yes, that's the one. Thanks very
a.k.a.
much.
JB,
Oh, yes.
a.k.a. John Bernado.
Yes.
All right,
Oh,
John. Welcome to the pod. I'm happy to have
I'm
you.
so
bro.
nervous. Hey, you're so famous and so popular people in your podcast. I'm really not sure if I'm.
John, stop lying.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, cool.
All right, so John. Well, honestly, bro, like, so the first question that John had for me when I came here was, am I even worthy to be on your podcast? And I felt that was such an interesting question because, in your opinion, like, what do you think is worthy to be on here?
For sure. First you have to. It's always for me. It's always about the community and then what you contribute as a dancer, especially if you're a competitive dancer. My teachers will always say, if you're competitive, you always just take from the community, meaning like you wanted all of the championships, you all wanted all of the accolades. You jam with someone not because you wanted to be with them, it's because you're trying to learn what they're trying, how they dance, and so when you compete against them, you know what to do. So all of these are like taking, and one part of being like worthy, I think, to be in your podcast is the people that really contributed a lot in the community, given their time, their effort, their money. There's so many of them here in New Zealand and of course around the world, but here in New Zealand, that's what I was thinking, and that's what is on my mind. And we had Ken and all of them have been here, Mela and all of that. So and they've been contributing to the community for so long. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to do that as well, but I was thinking. I'm not gonna like be. I don't want to assume. You know what I mean? I still wanted to contribute and help out, but I feel like I have a lot more to do, and I have, especially for like doing with the locking community and helping out the new dancers get into that level of understanding of what a community and dancing is. You know what I mean? That's all I was thinking in my mind. So I was really grateful when you asked me, and I'm just really happy. That's what I was saying.
Honestly, like, cause, like, the reason why I asked you was because yesterday I went to John's locking workshop at On Beat Dance Studio, On Beat Dance Academy. Amazing place to be.
Yo.
And we were just talking about it, and I just realized, like, John, you would be a great person to have on because you do try things, like, and that's the thing.
You.
Like, I feel like you don't need to be the best dancer to be on here, but you just got to be able to try things and like do something that people aren't doing, or like to just like get experience. You know, like, why do you dance?
Yeah.
Like, if you're just dancing just to dance, which is fine, but then what else can you offer?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's it.
So you know how you said, like, in the Philippines, like, all your mentors and your teachers, like, they the culture was you'd go over to somewhere else to learn, to figure out how they dance, to know what you compete against.
Yeah.
So is the culture in the Philippines quite competitive, or is it?
It can be quite competitive because we have so many dancers, just the population alone, and just so many people. So if
Does the amount of dancers in the Philippines, like, does it dwarf the amount of dancers here, or?
yeah, definitely.
Really?
Just it's just so many. It doesn't matter what style you have, even if it's light feet, whatever. If it's a new one, there's so many dancers out there, and like for you to be, I had the word recognized. For you to be known or to be, you have to win things and all of that. And especially nowadays, we're in like a tournament type of what do you call this environment that you have to be competing. You have to be you have to win something for people to say, oh, he's a good dancer.
Yeah.
And that's what other young dancers we get put off because they don't want to do that, get intimidated right away, and they don't want to continue. That's why you see some new dancers that will do it from their 17, 18. Once they reach the like 20, and then once you see them, once they see the elite dancers or like the competitive ones that win championships, they get intimidated and they step back and they do other things.
Damn. So does the culture not encourage people to just dance for the fun of it, or is it that competitive?
Yeah, it can be that competitive. At one point, it will be in your, I think, in somebody dance career, especially if you were born in the last decade. If you like that, and at first it will be fun. Of course, you'll be with your friends and all of that.
Yeah.
But it can be as well very competitive and very pressure. So that's just for me. I think that's and when I see those young dancers and all of that, I just want to encourage them. You know what I mean, and just wanted to get them to continue dancing, and there's a lot more than just the competitive side of things. Yeah.
So for you, did you experience well, obviously you did experience the more competitive side, but were there moments where you experienced the more fun side as well?
Yeah.
Like, what was the ratio in your experience in the Philippines? Was it more competitive, more fun, half or?
I'll probably say half. Just because of my experience. For me, some of the dancers in the Philippines, you have to have a little bit of money. It's a privilege because you cannot attend. Our dance classes are so super expensive, especially if you want to learn from the best, and
like
if you want to learn
Philippines All Stars.
if you want to learn from the best, it can be expensive, and like it's like for example $30, and if you're a kid, or like $40 for a kid, $50 or something like that. If I can, that's a lot for like a class for an hour. An hour and a half.
Wow.
So, and then you have to attend another class. So you're spending, like, for example, $100 or $200 for just a day of like
a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it can get like that. So for me, I had to like really ask a teacher and say I wanted to learn from you.
Yeah.
And I literally walk an hour to get to the studio because I don't have money to get there. I'll save money so I can attend somebody's class.
Wow.
And pay for that. And that one is so I felt a little bit not competitive, but there are times that it was so amazing that especially when you see people really passionate about it, and like and you see them from really kids into getting to really deep and very passionate. And that's where I'm really like happy to see. Those are the moments, especially learning new things and all of that, and meeting the people that really are like the pioneers of the dance community. So those are the times really that I really like treasured and really special to me. To be honest,
That's tight, bro.
That's cool.
I gotta ask as well, because this was a question that you saw my latest on street, where I went around and asked people what makes a good dancer.
Yes.
So originally, I was gonna ask people, do you need money to be a good dancer?
Oh, good question.
'Cause what do you think? Do you think you need money to be a good dancer?
Nah, not especially not in New Zealand. I think we're really blessed and privileged to have good community. That are very encouraging. So you really can't. I can really, for example, go to you and ask you, and I know you'll be more gladly to share it to any.
No, for John Bernado, no way, not JB.
But I think it's not really a big block. It's an option if you have money. I mean, if you want to go overseas and all of that, that's the thing. I know other people that really like save money just to get outside internationally. But if you want to start small, there's so many people that are like really good international, we are like known and all of that, and sometimes you just need to ask them or take the courage to ask them, and it's really amazing where if you like just approach people and they will like give you everything without any return or anything like that. So money is just an option. It gives you a lot of option, but it's not really the end of especially if you're a passionate dancer, you will find a way to learn something. And it's just, and what's good about dancing, if you work hard for it, you'll see the results really.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I love about dancing as well. Is like it's one of the, you know how there's performing arts, right?
Yeah.
There's music, there's music, acting, and dancing, right?
Yeah.
So in my head, when I was growing up, for music, I thought, singing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't sing. I mean, I can train to
See,
sing, but I know that
no,
nah, I
no,
can't. I can't, John.
no,
I
not just
can't.
like a no.
It's
Okay.
horrible. It's horrible. It's
Okay.
horrible. I love it though, but
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. So I knew that, oh, you know what? Maybe singing is not my route. And with music as well, like I was always well, I just didn't train hard enough for music. Honestly, I feel like I did learn a bit. I know how to play like a little bit.
Instruments.
Yeah, just piano.
Okay.
And for acting,
Oh,
I didn't train that well. But like for dancing, I feel like it's one of those. It's like the most likely one where if you just train hard enough,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be a good dancer.
That is true. That is true. But how about you? What do you think makes a good dancer? You always ask us about that, but what do you? Yeah,
What makes me
what makes someone a good dancer?
for me? I guess it's I like to split this up into different aspects, right? So
Let's go.
one's like the physical,
Mm-hmm.
one's the mental,
Mm-hmm.
and one's the why, right? So
Yo.
physically, a good dancer for me is someone that that knows their body.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be doing the craziest moves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to be doing like like backflips or like,
Yeah.
oh, backflips isn't really dancing, but like they don't have to do like flares or like windmills or whatever, like the best Uncle Sam points or the best scubots. But like if they just know what works for them and what makes them feel good, and they embrace that,
Yo.
I feel like that's a good dancer physically. Mentally, I feel like a good dancer is someone that's able to express what the music is. If it's a funky track, like I want to feel the funk. Like I want to feel like I'm watching a movie when I see that like funk track come on.
True.
Like make me feel something, take me on a journey, and that's why I
Yeah.
really love dancers like oh that's
Yo,
why I really
yo.
like dancers like Happy Feet.
Yo.
That's weird. That's weird saying it because like
Your boy, your boy.
he knows, but it's weird saying it because he's my boy. But he's like a very entertaining performer, very entertaining, and like the way he expresses music, you always feel like you're on a ride, and people always look forward to seeing him.
Yeah,
perform.
they really watch.
Yeah. And the last aspect would be the why, which is
Woo, this is big for me.
yeah, this is big, right? Because your why for why you dance. Like when you're younger, your why is super easy, right? Because when you're young, it's something that's fun. It's something that you just love to do. Like you just love the way it makes you feel. It's so fun for you. You make friends. All these easy things to focus on when you're younger.
Yeah.
But when you get older and life priorities start coming
Dang.
through, and
Yo.
maybe like there's situations where you really gotta ask yourself, do I have time to dance? Should this still be part of my life?
That's a big question too.
Like is because a lot of the times you'll see it as well when you get older is people will they'll stop dancing and they'll give up on it and they'll be like, okay, and then they'll come back to it a few years later and they're like, oh man,
Really
you
missed
got
it.
so good, or like I want to get back into it, but then they never really do. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
hard
true.
because like once you leave dance, it is super hard coming back.
It's super hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I mean that is I think the biggest for me is your intention as well and why you dance. Yeah, and when life comes in the picture and the priorities and responsibilities and all of that, that's a big question to ask if you still want to do it.
Yeah.
For me,
John, why do you still want to dance?
it's
How old are you right now? Why do you still dance?
I'm 27. I've been dancing since I was probably 7.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Bro, that's more than half your life, bro.
Yeah, and it's that's why it's been like a very important thing to me because this is all I knew. I'm really uncomfortable talking to people, like socializing in parties. I'm like the ones that are really quiet. I don't talk a lot, really, and this is a way that I can like express something out of like emotions and whatnot, and also I have friends around it, so I'm comfortable. It's the best place, the happiest place I can be in with people that have the same things that I'm doing. I'm not awkward when they ask me about how my day is, if I tell you about like, oh, I did Krump today, and then I did locking today, I was so tired, and you'd be like, what are you talking about? And if it's a dancer, you understand like where I'm coming from, and like, and I can just be relaxed like this and talk to you anything about my dancing and all that. And why do I dance still? Is yeah, it's just because I love them. If you really, I think that why of me not, I'm still here is because just I literally just really love dancing and the people in it, and just chasing that high, that one moment I was just being in that moment, because when you go back to your regular life, you have to deal with all of these
Yeah.
things, and it's kind of like a getaway, like a holiday for me and all of that. Yeah, yeah.
Hard.
Mm.
All right, John. So back in your day, John, I want to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, no, sorry. Last question, which was do you need money to be a good dancer, right?
Yeah.
So your answer was definitely not.
No.
I wanted to piggyback off that question as well
Cool.
because your answer about not needing money, like asking people,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time, if you just ask someone,
Yep.
they're more than willing to give it. Especially here, like I feel like with here, people are like willing to just give information out.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe that's the Kiwi way, or I'm not sure, but
I, for me, I think it's sometimes it's ego as well, because you think you know the dance and you don't want to ask, or you're shy or you don't want to ask. People have been like doing some of these dancing or styles for so long,
yeah,
and you just and they have so much to share, and they're just waiting for someone to ask them, do you want to learn.
very
And at
true.
one point that you've been training, you know, you've been training so hard, you've been doing all of these watching a lot of videos, training, going Zoom training and all of that, effort, time, money, and all of that, and you have all of these knowledge in you. At one point, you wanted to share it.
Yeah, I mean, like, where else is it gonna go?
Yeah, at one point, you want to share that happiness that you got, the experience that you got, especially when you start seeing them competing or going on stage or
Yeah.
performing. You'll be like, "Yep, that's the one. That's the one that we were talking about." And they sometimes you just need to take courage. And if they don't reply to you or something like that, that's fine. You go
Yeah.
to the next one. You know, probably
Definitely.
ask, because that's I think that's how you just learn. Just ask people, and yeah, and you will be surprised to like. I literally just hit people to be like, "Can you teach me, please? Can you
Yeah,
teach me?" And
same,
there's
same.
sometimes they will say no. Sometimes they will be like, "I understand that. Go with it," and then just yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's just us like really like trying to just like yeah, it's stopping us from getting the information that we want and training with the right people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And another form of discussion is when I was thinking about it in my head,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you need money, but I think you need some sort of currency. That currency could be that you work very hard. It could be time.
Yeah.
Whatever it could be. Like, but yeah, like if someone sees you working hard, I feel like I'd want to help that person out. You know,
That's
I'd want
for
to like
sure.
give them all that I can so that they can reach whatever's next for them. Because when one of us wins, I feel like all of us do.
Of course, and if that someone says, "Can you please teach me?"
Yeah.
And then they're like being humble about it to you, and you know that they just wanted to learn.
Yeah.
You'll give everything to them, and just yeah, and yeah. So most of the time, that's I think that's a good. I mean, for us in New Zealand here in New Zealand, that's a great community. So
And
I
how
think people
crazy is it that like your one locking class, it
Mm.
could have inspired someone to just keep going down the rabbit hole of dance and just to keep falling in love with it. But it was just your one class that I was like, wow, I really love how John taught this, and
Oh, definitely. Like that's that. Those words are really like your words, especially if they look up to you or
Yeah.
they like they see you around and they wanted a little bit of what you've already achieved. Then your words really can either empower them or like discourage them as well. So yeah. And that's the same with me when Prince told me like I think you can do this. And for a young kid that is very small, and all of those people that are really like with a lot of resources, a lot of things, and like, oh, you really like my dance? Cool. So and that made me go for my harder, and then just yeah, that and again very important the words that people say to, especially the new dancers.
God.
Mm,
Oh man.
that's cool.
Every time this guy talks, I feel like I have all these new questions that come up to mind. Like John says one like these random stories, or not random
Mm,
stories, but John goes on these stories, and every time I'm like, wow, like man, I'd love to ask you this. Okay, John, could
mm.
you elaborate just quickly, or not quickly, but could you elaborate on who Prince is, and maybe let's go back to the Philippines and where you started your dance journey?
So I started so when we started traveling, I was a kid. I toured out. I auditioned for the cultural dance in the Philippines, and in return they pay for our tuition and all of that. And but what in return for us, or I mean, for them, they get to take us to whatever shows they needed us. If there are like people from other countries, like presidents or whatnot, then we'll be
Mm.
performing in front of them and all of that. So that's where I start to see other dancers, other dance groups, other dance styles as well. Philippine All Stars is one of them, and I started to. We met them in one of the shows, and they did locking and popping. It was Prince and Reagan, one of the like the duos that does popping, locking, funk styles really, for the group. And then they started a studio called Brewing Point. Yeah, Brewing Point. Um, and yeah, I just went there. I was a kid, but it's very far from me and all of that. And I didn't know anyone, so I literally walked hours to get to their place. And then yeah, and then Prince just saw me and said, "Oh, these are the classes that you can go and attend to." And I saw him locking. And I saw him just really just dancing to a music. I think it's some Mariah Carey music, but he was just
Hey.
he was just locking to it. He was just vibing and all of that. And I said, "Ooh, I wanna learn that." So I just asked him, and from that I just started training with them, and then also did some recitals for the studios and whatnot, and that's really started our journey together. Like yeah, and they just realized that I really wanted, so I kept showing up, kept
Mm.
showing up. Sometimes I don't have money to pay for the classes, so I will just be outside the studio,
Oh,
and I'll just
really?
wait for the to finish. Literally, I just stayed there because it's expensive for
How old were you when this happened?
like maybe probably yeah 14, 15
14,
probably, yeah,
15?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's it. And I will go just right after school and then just go there and just stay and just really just sit down and just watch sometimes.
Mm.
So yeah, so shout out to Ate Madel and Queer Prince. Yeah, and they after that recital that we did for locking, and I said, oh, this is the style that I wanted to get to.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, it's the style that I wanted to do. And yeah, after that, never turned around and just kept training until I'm at around 18, 19. And yeah, just to continue training until I got to Singapore.
Mm.
And then when I got to Singapore, that's where the freestyle community came in. And that's where I started freestyle locking and all of that.
Oh.
Because they have so many freestyle locking people there.
So
They
in the Philippines, was the freestyle culture not as big there?
Um, not at the time for me because I was a kid and I cannot go around.
Oh,
But
okay. Yep.
I've been to the events, attended
Mm.
the events and all of that. But because I was limited to where I can go at
Mhm.
that time,
Mhm.
I wasn't fully were emerged to the freestyle community. I was doing freestyle with the people that was with me and all
Yep.
of that. But I never got to travel to the Philippines
Mm.
and see other people.
Mm.
Not until I was in Singapore and all of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you still talk to Prince and stuff today, or?
Every now and again, yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess, and they've been doing a lot of Zumba and all of that.
Oh,
And
Zumba.
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
they've
is
been
that?
trying to train and all of that. So they're like, they are what do you call this? Certified Zumba trainers,
Mm.
and that's what kept them as well in dancing and kept them in
Mm.
doing other stuff. But he's still dance locking. He still teaches
Dope.
hip hop, and he's a locker popper and hip hop dancer. So
Mm.
he does a lot of that as well every now and again on Zoom, and it's because of the COVID and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite different as the
Yeah.
moment. But yeah,
All right, John. In a world where you can only dance one dance style, because John, I believe that the styles that you love to do and that you train in is locking, krump, and house.
Mm-hmm.
Those are your main three, would you say?
Yeah.
Yep. In a world where you could only dance one dance style, which one does each dance style offer you, and which one would you want to dance in? Which one
Just
would you want to
one
keep?
to
Yeah,
keep.
yeah.
So they all offer different things for me. So
Mm-hmm.
so locking like kind of teaches me, or like locking, the feeling for locking for me is that it's almost like in a traditional dance style, meaning you have to learn the foundation styles, right? Correct, and
Mm-hmm.
stretch them as much as you can when you're doing freestyle. But at the same time, you have to dance. So that feeling of like having rules, but at the same time, how far can you get this going?
Yeah.
And that feeling is like that competitive side of me. That's that feeling, and the
So,
other side is like the music. I'm really connected to that music.
mm-hmm.
So I guess if you're connected to the music, it's a bit easier for you to dance to that music. So that's the feeling. With house for me brings like freedom, like what Zed will say, free, always freedom, because you can do whatever you like with house, because it was from different dances as well. Yeah, from the east side, east coast, US. So everything that you can think of, the feeling and all of that, and it's just really freedom. Krump is another level of style, feeling as well. I love Krump because I also have that side of very competitive, and I cannot really express anger that much really well, or like
Mm.
frustrations. So that dance keeps me like really, keeps me going and makes, yeah, that feeling I'm able to express through that dance. But if I'm keeping just one, which is really hard, I'll probably do locking, bro. I probably locking, because it's just the first one that I've, and
Mm.
that's discipline and just having fun is also what I like about locking.
Yeah.
And no expectation. And if you ask, like, and if you see all of the Don's interview, he will say just have fun and do it your own way.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. So
Mm.
yeah. So hard though. What's this question? One dance. How about you? How about you?
Me?
Well, which one will be just one dance for you?
If I had to pick one style.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a funny question because I was talking to Josh about this. Josh Coconut.
Yeah.
Um, if you could pick one if you could pick one dance style to be really good at,
Mhm.
but you can't be good at any other dance styles for the rest of your life, what would it be? And then for me, I chose b-boying, because if I could be like the
Wow.
best b-boy in the world,
Wow.
imagine all the tricks I could do, like all the power, all the
Wow.
things. Like I could show off so much.
Oh, I think b-boy is
And
the
like
hardest, bro. But you go ahead, go ahead, go
and
ahead.
like the thing is, I know that sucks to say, like, oh, you just want to show off, and it's like, but of course I want to show off.
Of
Like, I've worked hard
course.
for the moves, you
Yeah.
know. Like, if you work hard to get, cause it's like what you said, it's hard, right?
It is.
To get those moves, it takes a long time and it takes dedication and practice. And if you want to show off, when I was younger, I used to think, oh man, that guy's just a show off. But now that I've grown older, I realized he must have spent so long and trying to so many hours to get that move. If he wants to show off, like, he's kind of earned it in a way. You know what I mean?
Oh, especially b-boy. I think b-boy is one of the hardest. Probably for me, the hardest.
Have you ever gotten into it, John?
I've seen a lot of b-boys in the journey from the Philippines, Singapore, and here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure. I wanted to probably do it at one point, but I know I will need a lot of time to do that as well. At that time, I was learning locking in house at the same time, so it was quite a lot. But yeah, I believe b-boy is one of the hardest. I've never. I wish I could have tried it. Like really go through. Like really, because when I say try, people will say. I will say to people, this is the last Krump, and will be the last style that I will learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because when I wanted to learn something, I wanted to really get into the
Yep.
deep into it. And then when it's the b-boy aspects, there's so much that you need to learn. Even just one move, you have to keep repeating it. You have to keep doing it to be able to be natural and relax and be able to dance with it. So like I respect the respect that I have for b-boys are like crazy, man. It's and the body, you have to put yeah, that's why it's a sport. That's why it's because you have to go through a lot of things. You have to get your body right. You have to get your mind right. You have to like put hours into it. You cannot just put 30 minutes and jam here and then go out and do something else. It's a lifestyle really. So I had mad respects for you guys. I don't know how you guys do it. So yeah, for us we can do moves. I can teach you a move. You can learn a move. You can repeat it and all of that. I'm not but I just the respect that I have for b-boys is immense, bro.
It's
So
definitely
much.
it's definitely a different dance style to locking as well. As like how do you feel like you make sets? Like do you make certain combos up?
Yeah, I do sometimes
Or
for sure.
do most of the time do you rely on those combos or do you just freestyle?
So what I usually do is if I want to train for it or for competition,
Mhm.
I have to play rounds and throw rounds and play music. I will
Yeah.
make some combos every now and again, but I know those combos will only get me to
Yeah.
a certain part, and sometimes you won't be able to use it
Mm.
anyways, depending on the music. But if you are trained to freestyle and you like just you're always trying like to go on a freestyle and throwing freestyle rounds,
Yeah.
that you will be more prepared. You have more you'll be more what do you call this, relaxed and all of that, because when you're nervous you really cannot throw all of these materials or
Yep.
combo in your mind and people are
100%.
cheering for you and you cannot
Yeah.
hear the music.
Yeah.
And like, so it's all that you just really dance to it, just playing a music, dance to it, throw a minute around and then go watch it again, see what you did great, and then throw another music. That's what you just usually do. I can make like I do sometimes make combos or whatnot, but that's like, for example, what if I just lock sitting down or something like that? So I would just do locking sitting down. So if I'm in the moment
Yeah.
that I get into like a stance, or I'm in the freestyle round that I do in the competition, I'm sitting down. I know what to do, or I have a little bit of and I'm aware. And this is not the first time that I'm doing it. You know what I mean? But yeah, usually that's also the instruction from my teachers is like play music, go dance to it,
Tight.
go dance to it. Yeah, it's really nothing much that you can prepare. You can do tricks or whatnot.
Yep.
Yep. And but that can only take you to a certain level. If the music changes and you don't like it,
Yeah.
what happens now?
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh no, I don't know this. And, you know what I mean? So yeah.
But what you said there, that's where I feel like sets come in.
Mm.
When you get a song that you don't like, I feel like that's when sets come in, and that's where I feel like when you ask me what dancer I'd like to have if I only had one,
Mm-hmm.
I'd actually choose hip hop freestyle instead of b-boying because
Really?
I feel like with b-boying, if you want to get far,
Mm-hmm.
have you seen like the BC one? Like, oh yeah, you have, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you see how sometimes they have sets prepared? Like
Yep.
you can tell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because either it doesn't match the music properly, or it's
Yes.
just like, or you just know that it's so clean where it's like, oh no, this guy must have practiced this exact combo. And I realized with BC One and like those competitions is they have like sets that they just know that they do all the time because like they worked it into their muscle memory.
Yeah.
And what they do is they just adjust it to the music.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
any
right.
song they have, they just do the same set, but just to a different track, and it
Mm-hmm.
works out because it's
Mm-hmm.
still a good set.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, what I've gained with freestyling is that you know you just want to be free, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing. Like, of course, it's your style. You've made the set yourself,
Mm-hmm.
but then the ability to just adapt to music and then to just like feel it and to give into it almost.
Yeah.
Like that's a.
I think if you
blissful
understand your style enough, you'll be able to express it there. Of course, it's good to have structure as well. In Krump, we do that a lot. We have a structure. We have do intros and do whatnot. But we have, but if you don't really know and you don't have that level of understanding of how you dance, how your body works, and all of that, if you're trying to do something that is not you, it will.
Yeah.
People will see it, and you'll see it in the music and all of that. And some the winners usually the ones that really listen to music or really probably have sets or done some already like materials, but you know at one point in that dance or their round they have danced and just freestyle to it really because they understand their style, like they are master of their own style already. So they sprinkle their materials or their they do that with salt and pepper their materials and whatnot.
The sauce.
But it's not their first thing to do. You know what I mean? It's not like a 7-8 and you hit your combos and whatnot. But they dance first and then probably just sprinkle them
Yeah.
in between. Yeah, yeah, but that's a great point.
JB, when you battle, what do you think about? Like, what goes in your head?
Ooh, battling is crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, actually, from your perspective, first,
mm,
before you answer that, what's the
mm,
difference between battling and freestyling? Because some people think it's
wow.
the same because you do freestyle in a battle, but
Mm.
like, what is the difference for you?
Freestyle should be the Freestyling should be the safest place. Freestyling is should be the best place to make mistakes and to have fun.
Mm,
That's first and foremost for me.
facts, facts.
When you're freestyle, especially with your freestyling with your friends, that should be just anything. You can just be there 1 second and you just wink on someone and people and you're on beat, and then people start to
Yeah.
that's it. It doesn't have to be too much. You don't have to kill yourself just doing. And freestyling is just really first feeling the music. And this is the vibe. If you play the music, oh, this is the feeling that we want to get to. Like, let's go, let's try this, and that's usually just it. Like battle, if you're aware, like people are always looking at you, judging you already,
Yeah.
and you have to throw something. Especially sometimes you don't know the music. It
Mm,
depends on the DJ. If the DJ wants this music to be played, you're stuck, and you have to entertain people, showcase, and all of that.
mm,
It's quite hard, and only a few people really like relaxed on that
yeah.
level, and especially if you're new, it's quite really scary. So freestyling is like, for me, the difference is just this is should be the safest place, should be the happiest place you can ever be,
Mhm.
spending time with your friends, doing
Yeah.
crazy things and all of that. Like, I mean, fun things. And the battling side is showcasing your hard work, really.
Mm,
That for me is like when I battle, I feel like I'm battling for my teachers and their teachers and their teachers.
mm,
So I should showcase the hard work that we've been putting in, and also that I understand this dance and I respect the culture and all of that. So that's why sometimes it gets to my mind sometimes, and I'm like pressure too much, and I don't really dance properly. But
mm.
though that's the difference between, for me, like, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I answered your question.
Right. Yeah, you answered the first part. Second half.
Yeah,
What do you think about? Like specifically, what do you think about when you go into a battle?
specifically. So when I
Yeah.
go into battle, I think of the intention that I have there. So for example, the intention is, if I go first round, my
Mm.
intention is to show you that I feel this music. I
Yep.
understand this music.
Nice.
So I show that, and my intent, what I'm saying in my mind is to just show them. I don't care about what you accomplished. Well, I respect you. I don't care. It's not I don't care.
He doesn't. He
No,
doesn't.
I don't care about you. No, but because sometimes when you see people that are like really accomplished,
Yep.
and I'm like, I'm new in the community, or I still
Mm.
feel like, so. Well, when I dance with them, yeah, if you think of, oh, this is the 5 time champion and all of that, and you be like, oh, I don't want to dance and all of that, and it's really hinders your feeling and everything that you get. Yeah, and it just muddled you up, and you don't want to dance. So I just feel like this is not about you. Let me showcase. Let me show you what I've been working on. And that's
Mm.
usually, if you see me battle, that's what I usually just do. Like, watch me, just watch me. I don't care about you now. I respect you, but watch me.
Yeah.
I also have something to say, something like that. Yeah.
Mm.
How about you?
Me? Um, it takes. I feel like it takes me a while for. So you usually before when I first started battling, and even
Mm.
like last year as well, like when
Mm.
when I began to start battling like properly,
Mm.
I used to think, oh, just try my best.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, I'm like, I can beat you.
Oh,
I
oh,
think
oh. Sorry.
I think anybody that I step on the floor with,
Yeah.
like I can beat you. And like you might be better at me than like a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but if I'm better than you at one thing, and it might be like something small, like maybe
Mm.
just on the day, like my attitude, if I feel like today I'm just gonna be better than you,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna be like I want to give it my best and see what I have inside me that I can bring out.
That's great
Because I usually
mindset.
feel like in battles, like there's almost another person that comes out if you push hard enough.
Yeah.
Like when you lab as well, right? Like when you go like super hard in the lab, when you're so dead tired, but someone else comes out.
Mm-hmm,
I feel
mm-hmm.
like that's the same if you push yourself hard enough. But to get to that point, it's like a mental journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like that's something that's underrated. Is the physical prep is important, but the mental prep for
Oh,
battle
definitely.
is like I feel like even more important, because if you're not mentally prepared, all that physical training is like out the window.
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely. That's a great point. That's a great, mentality as well going into the battle. That's cool.
John, so before you said that when you go into a battle, you're repping all your teachers that and all your crew and your fams, right? So I gotta ask you, bro, why do you think mentors are important? And if I was, say, if I was someone that was new to the scene, or maybe not new, but if I was like a beginner, right? How would I go about finding a mentor and asking them to mentor me?
Ooh, great. If you're new to the scene and you wanted to be mentored by someone, I suggest you go first in the community. So try to be in the community first. Try make friends with everyone. Um, Talents will come later. Knowledge will come later. Skills will come later. But getting to know that community and the people that you really like, will say not like, but maybe you're like more connected to, and I think that's the first thing that you need to find out. And then if
Facts.
the person needs to also be like in the community for a certain amount of time. For me, that's the thing. And also have the knowledge too. But I mean, if they are connected, you're connecting with them really good, then you can just go for it and ask for their guidance, and I'm sure they'll help you out. Yeah, and just don't be afraid to like go to the community first and just be asking people. But also just make sure that you just make sure that you want that mentor to be you're gonna be loyal with that mentor, because there's so many people that you can be
Yeah.
connected to.
Yeah, you can jump around a lot.
Yeah, you can jump
Yeah.
around a lot, but just I guess take your time. I know there's so many people out there, and sometimes when you're a kid, you just wanted to be popular. You just wanted to be with them. You just wanted to have their status, but you know they have worked for it and all of that as well. And so just take your time. There's no rush on like trying to find a mentor, but because when you find a mentor, when you ask someone, you just want to make sure that you stick to them and you like just follow them as well, because if you wanted to ask someone and then you don't follow them, or you don't really like what they're trying to say or
Yeah.
do, then that's another story. So yeah, just if you're a new dancer, don't be afraid. Go to the community first, and then just see all of the dancers. I always like the teachers that have history. They always have like knowledge about the community and all of that, because I know that they will bring my dancing to not physically also, but just
Yeah.
also the knowledge part.
Facts.
And if I know what I'm repping for, and
Yeah.
I know why I'm doing it, then it makes it worthwhile and makes my dancing a bit more better, because I know that I'm repping for someone that has been here for a while, and the knowledge that I'm doing is right, and the things that I'm doing is right, so I'm more confident in like applying it and showing it to you, something like that.
I like the point that you mentioned about you have to like what they say as well,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it's just because someone's a great dancer,
Mm-hmm.
maybe their morals or
Yeah,
what they stand for, it matters as well, because they might be a
definitely.
great dancer, but if they're a shit person, like
Yo,
it almost makes it hard to learn from them, and hard to
yo.
be under them, and hard to it really is a people thing first.
Definitely,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. You can learn from anyone, like because like nowadays there's so many things you can go online and learn some things. But I
Yeah.
think mentoring and having a teacher, or having a leader, having a dad, like what Coconut would say. Hello, Coconut. Josh would say. Hello.
Wow.
It's
Nice.
is that because having a mentor or having someone to guide you
Yeah.
is really good. It will take you to the next level, because those people have done all of their works. They made their mistakes and all of that. So when they give it to you, it's like they already done it for you. You're just gonna absorb it and apply it. And that's why I also respect those teachers, because those teachers have been already working and they're just showing it to you. And that's also, I think we're so privileged to have
Yeah.
those people with us. And it's just amazing. So I always believe in a teacher student schooling, that you can ask someone and they teach you it. It's because and first you have someone to go if they say, oh, you're not doing it right. He's my teacher. Go and ask him. So you have a lineage of where you can tell them, especially if it's a foundation style that you're doing, something like that. Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking a lot.
No, that's okay. That's fine. No, JB, man, you talk as much as you want, bro. I love hearing you talk, man. God damn.
Sorry.
He's got the best smile in the dance community, man. I love him. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And it's
thanks.
cool because like mentors is like it's free cheat codes, really.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
that's what I'm
it's-
saying. Yeah, cheat codes. But
You and a lot of the time, if you find like a mentor, like it doesn't cost money. It just costs like it doesn't really cost anything but your time and your loyalty and
yeah.
respect and just all the basic you know all the basic human values, good human values, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, when we're this type of era, especially if you're a new dancer, you think like, oh, I can just learn it online, easy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's very true. But there are things you just can't learn online, and there's things that you can't translate online as well. Like, how are you gonna explain like a story that has so much heart through online that
you know, limited time and just see them like 2D and all of that or something. Sure, you can learn the moves and whatnot, but the feeling of that exchange and that grows you really so much. Like especially when you see a teacher dance and then you dance and those exchanges with your group,
Yeah.
that really gets you to the next level. And you cannot do that online in Zoom or whatever. That's what I'm saying.
And that relationship too with your teacher, where even you guys just you know maybe you just finish the training and you go out to eat, or like
Yo, the
those
best
small
part, bro.
things, they
Roast
just
pork on rice time.
they add so much to the whole experience of like of your dance, and I feel like that's what keeps people in it as well. John, you said your 2D experience was Zoom. Can I ask you? You took Zoom session with Tony Ray.
Oh yeah, I did a few times. Yeah.
Tony Ray. So, for the people that don't know Tony Ray, John, do you think you could just give like a brief intro to Tony?
So much to Tony Ray. So accolades wise, so he's just won I forgot the competition.
Summer Dance Festival.
Yeah,
Summer Dance Festival. I
we
think.
we'll correct that in a minute. Yeah. Won so many competing in just debut
That's the idea as well.
as well. One of the best house dancer ever there. Lives in LA if I'm not mistaken. Yep, try. And yeah, he's just an amazing dancer, and he's Filipino as well and all of that. So
Hey, Philippines,
yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, so he's really crazy. Yeah, like probably one of the new dancers that changing the game, especially with house and trying to put their own flavor when it comes to house. What was the question again?
I just want you to introduce him first, so the viewers knew. But
Okay.
as for your trainings with Tony Ray,
Mm-hmm.
what was something that you learned that was surprising for you?
Wow.
Or something that helped open your eyes to what dance could be, or maybe just opened your eyes in general with Tony?
Oh, first session that I have with them, or first training that I have with them is just first he said, "Oh, go dance," and like, okay, damn, I'm dying already. So he just wanted to see where I'm at. So I did a round, and he said to me, "Have you ever danced with someone before?"
Oh.
That's the first thing that he asked me. And I said, "Do you go to the clubs a little bit and dance with people?" And I rarely don't really. And he said, "Dancing with someone and dancing just alone with you on your own gets you to that next level. Why? Because you don't worry about your vocabs. You don't worry about what to do next. You're just feeling the music and you're trying to understand your body. You're just dancing around and all of that." He said to me, I think it's the best advice that he mentioned to me is that you dance first and you salt and pepper the vocabs later. That's how you start, and then just from there you can take off to whatever. But because especially with house, people think like, oh, I have to do this move, and then next move, this move, and then this move, and that move, and all of that. So you tend to like go 2,000%, and then you had one moment they're not dancing really. You're just trying to like get all of those vocabs and all of those tricks away. And that's really what he said. That's why he keeps winning, is because he understands the music. He understands on when to go do all of the moves and just relax and dance for a little bit and just sprinkle all of those vocabs around them. So that's one of the best thing that I'm like, oh yeah. And from then on, with house, I never start like doing vocabs. I just move and just started to just listen to the music first and feel it. especially with house, because house so many vocab, so you can do
Yeah.
so many things. So yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I gotta ask you, when you're in your teacher's hat, because you do teach at TST as well, you teach house and locking.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in that position, what do you focus on first when you teach your students? Do you focus on giving them a proper technique first? Do you focus on feeling first? What do you emphasize?
Ooh, great question.
Because I've seen both. I've seen both teachers go. I've seen teachers go down each route. You know what I mean? And I actually, because there's pros and cons to both,
Yeah.
and I don't know if there's a right way, but I'd just like to
Yeah.
hear your way. Like, how do you feel?
That's the great thing. It's so hard to teach, especially if it's a foundation style, and you only have like an hour or an hour and a half to teach a style, and especially telling someone that this is the style, and they, because at one point they will not come back, then they will say, "Oh, I've learned the style already," but you really haven't. For me, I look at the students first that comes into the class, and then if it's all young and new people, I always ask them, whoever has already, have you danced this before, or, and then I start with that. Usually, I don't have a set ready for them, but what I will do is I will focus. If they're new, I'll focus on the foundation movements first.
So you know when you say you don't have a set ready for class, does that so you don't prepare at all, or it's just because you train so much that you just adapt to whatever comes?
I'll do a combo there if it's like for example, if the audience or the students are like experienced ones, I'll do a combo there to the music.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I don't have any really sets, because it's also because I've trained for it already.
Yeah.
And I have a few combos that I know already that I can do. And most of the time with lockers or house dancers, they don't really know much about the combinations and all of that. So I have something already because I've been training since I was young. So I kind of know what to combine and all of that. But yeah, when it comes to teaching, it's really hard. I really think sharing is another way. It's a different story. I think if you're we've been talking about this last time, me and Zed, that some people will prematurely teach,
Yeah.
but not probably ready yet to teach, because teaching and sharing is different than that. But yeah, I focus first on the audience and what they what I have, and then if it's new, like for example the on-beat class, I'm expecting a lot of experienced dancers or people that have done locking, but when they came in, they're all young, they're all like teenagers and kids. So I focused more on the history, showing them pictures, because sometimes you don't even know how the people look like, or the originator or the creator look like, and you've learned the dance but you've never seen these people before. So I made sure that they see the pictures and the people that I started it, and usually that's how I share. I look at the people first and the students, and then see if it's a bit they are experienced, then I'll teach something harder, or vocab that is a bit harder. And we focus on that.
Can I ask you, because you said that you believe that some people prematurely teach. So,
I said that? Yeah.
because sometimes I feel like, I still feel like nowadays, like I'm not ready to teach. To my, even to like my own style, I feel like, oh man, like I don't know if I'm like ready to
I
teach.
think of course at one point you have to go in step, say, I'll share it now. But the great thing about you is you're connected with a group, you're connected with your teacher, you're connected. And it's the same with me. I always ask, can I teach now, or do you think I'm ready to teach? They say you can teach now, then yeah, great. And then if people complain about you, you can point them to a teacher. That's why also I said the teacher is important. It's always, but you always at one point you'll have to take courage and see if you need to share it. For me, I asked my teachers if I can share it, is because there's no community. I wanted to start doing something for people, and I don't want it to see in a competition for 16 counts and people don't know what happened there. Oh, that's locking. Oh, really? What's that? Like, oh, some style. But that's and that's the only time that they will see locking in a 16 count or like 32 counts in a competition, and that's that. I wanted to have community because Melly and Kat and John have been working so much. I wanted to help out, and the way I can help out is I have time to share it.
Mm.
And I asked TST to if they can help me, and they give me a platform to help out. So I did that, and like and I asked my teachers, can I teach first? Like, yep, sure, teach the foundation only.
Mm.
That's it. So I teach foundation only.
Yeah.
I don't teach anything much bigger. Yeah.
No. All right, JB. What are your thoughts on borrowing from black culture
Wow.
and not acknowledging it?
Whew. I think Kat said it best that of course we are borrowing it, and we always need to reference Kat Walker, by the way. Hi, Kat. And she said that we're borrowing it, and we have to always reference people. 100% into that. Again, we are so privileged to have all of these dance styles that we can do, and we can dance, and we can learn from. And it came from somewhere. It came from people, came from the feeling that they have to express something. So and if it wasn't for them, we won't be able to dance any of these. I don't know what we've been doing if they didn't create any of these styles. So I'm very much for it, and if they can see the faces as well, please. And if you're sharing it, let them see the people. Put a picture up in there, just show them these people, and just because we're borrowing it as the moment it's not ours. And it's almost like saying that, oh, I know this, and I am locking or something like that. That's crazy. So sharing is great, but just reference the people, and they just, if they need to be referenced, I mean, they always need to be referenced, but just acknowledge them and their work, because that's how their livelihood and life as well. So I really believe in that hard.
You know how in New Zealand, because we're like, New Zealand's almost just its own place. We're like separated from the whole world. Like it's good and bad in ways. And I feel like over here we're not encouraged to learn our history as much. We're more of like a fast paced, like, let's learn this choreography, let's learn this style to as much as we need it for this goal that we have. So how do you think we go about encouraging people to learn about the history and like learn about the creators? And
we're getting better.
Do you think they even need to learn? Like, do you think if I just want to dance the style, do I need to learn it? What are your thoughts on that?
If you want to dance or learn a style, you need to learn it. I'll tell you why. Because the reason that you need to learn it is that because you will know the meaning behind those styles, those moves. And once you know the meaning behind it, or the vocabs before the vocabs, that was my teacher saying, how did they came about with this vocab, what was the meaning behind it, and you will understand the dance, and once you do it, it will have more meaning to you. Otherwise, you will just keep throwing things in there. And like, if you're a great musicality, then that's great, but at one moment you will stop and say, I'm not improving. Why am I not improving? Because you don't really know the foundation. Your roots are not strong, your foundations are not strong. So those people, those movements, and that culture, at one point you'll go back to it, I'm sure of you, especially for those people that have been doing dance and have never learned the foundations of the people. You at one point you'll be searching, and especially if you're competing, you'll be like, why am I not growing? Why am I not like? And then you'll find out. You'll find out for yourself. So if you're young now and you're trying to get into dance, learn that first. I know it's kind of boring, and sometimes it's like a lot of things to do, but it will accelerate your dance so quick because of you understanding those foundation moves. And I know for us, especially if you're a new dancer, you want to try everything. Oh, that's cool. Or when I saw a b-boy, I'm like, I want to do that air flare. I want to do that windmill and all of that. That's 1990 to a chair. Goodness, I'd be able to do that. And then you find out that it's a lot of things more than that, more than the moves, more than again what you said. It's the hours that they put in, the effort, the money, and all of that. And that's when you realize that it's important to just step back and learn the foundation, and just try to slowly build it. And that's why it's very important to me. And and you have to learn it. You have to. And for New Zealand, I think we're getting better. And I think we just need to be honest with ourselves and say that I don't know this yet, or
Yeah.
I know it a little bit, but not really that much. You know what I mean? I still attend Kat's classes, like foundation. I attended a couple of classes, and she was like, "You sure?" Like, yeah, but because I'm sure I'll be able to learn something from
Yeah.
that foundation style, even if it's the foundation styles that I already know or learned from other teachers. I'm sure I'll be able to. So, yeah, just be honest. Just be honest, and just and I think that will be better. And for about New Zealand, with the dancers like you and the new generation dancers, I think we're on the right track, but we have to keep at it, be consistent with it, and all of that, and just and now that we're getting to the stage that the OGs are not here anymore, we wanted to make now is more than ever we have to really keep them in.
Definitely.
Am I
bro.
too serious? You know what I mean? Am I,
No, of course you're not.
Okay.
I think that's really important as well because OGs are starting to die. You know.
Yeah.
Like, not die as in like they're starting to like fade out of history, but like they're literally just like dance only started like not too long ago. Some of our styles started like not too long ago.
Not very long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Good
cool.
point, John. I like the fact that you still go to foundation classes because I realized again with yesterday when I went to On Beat and took the b-boy workshop was because like when you're someone that's like super like say when Daniel, right? Dirty Dan Simba, b-boy Simba, when he went to shout out 603 603 Boogie Squad, when he went to like the b-boy workshop, like I could say like he's a very strong foundational b-boy, and you can tell in the way that he dances and executes his movements that he's like he knows his like his steps, and he knows it to the point where he adds his own flavor in, and it looks nice. It's not flavor just to add flavor in. It's like, oh, that's different, but it's like, well, he's trained in like so when someone like him comes to a foundation class or like a beginner workshop or whatever it may be, like it really gives like a sense of like inspiration to new people as well as the veterans or like the medium experienced dancers where they've been dancing for a while. They're like, hey, if this guy is still coming to foundation classes, this just goes to show how important foundations is and where it can take you.
Amazing. Yeah, like what you said, he knows his foundations and he kind of have a mastery of it already, so he can add more things into it because he doesn't need to think about foundations. He's like him, Seiju. Like Seiju is one of the things that when I first came in, I said he has a mastery of his foundation. He just knows his foundations, so he can keep adding to things and keep going through this. Those people that we interviewed as well in here, they all have like their foundations are already strong, so they can keep adding things and they can keep growing. For some people, they might have done the end part and they're gonna have to go back and learn the foundation style because they understand that they needed to learn it to keep growing. You know what I mean? Or they cannot go into that goal that they have until they meet the certain levels. I think that's for me. It's like a game. You cannot get to level 15 if you're. Yeah, I treat it that way at least.
Damn. Simba, Seju.
Oh, definitely.
JV. It sounds like a 603 podcast.
No, even for example, I'll say.
So Zed, what's up? What's up, Z?
No,
what's up, Z?
Z is
are you recruited? Nah, I'm just kidding.
Everyone that is in the fam. Like for me, Z.
Yo, Z, 603.
Even
Andy.
Chris, of course, Chris and fam. Yeah, example for sure. They know their foundations, their history, and whatever. Gonna get me in trouble.
Nah, I'm pulling your leg, John. I'm pulling your leg. I'm pulling your leg.
Cool.
Alright, John. I got a few questions left for you, bro.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So, one kind of just simple question for you now is just why do you dance? If you had to sum up why you dance,
Just the followers, bro. No.
Oh, did you hear that? He said the followers.
Chris asked me for the first time when I was crumping. Why do you want to crump? Just for the followers, bro. And he was looking at me like,
what a troll.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, it's
like,
just.
do you even get any followers from Krump?
Sorry, I don't have much followers. What am I saying? Oh yeah. Why do I dance? It's just spend my life is something that I really like to do. It's somewhere that I can speak. I don't like talking it, but and I've been talkative right here, but I'm comfortable with and all of that. But if I'm around other people, I'm really very shy. I have anxiety as well with talking, being in a gathering, and this is the most comfortable place, the happiest place I can be. So if I'm with those people, with you people, and like with the dance community, I know I'm safe and I know it's comfortable and I'm having fun and I'm just doing the best that I am.
Be
Like,
version of yourself, right?
yeah. And that's what I like. That's why I keep doing it. I don't even see myself not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't. No.
Like, do you ever feel like maybe even 50? Do you feel like you'll still hit a
Nope.
little scuba?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I'll be
same.
in the elderly home doing that scuba. Just showing to the nurses. This is how you do scuba, girl. You don't know. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do a little Campbell lock when you walk through the holes.
I'll be
like-
showing them pictures. Oh, I've been doing. Oh, I'll be doing all of that. Yeah. I'll be the
Right.
most annoying. Yeah. Anyways.
Right. Okay, John. 2020, right?
Yeah.
We're in 2021 now. I don't know when this episode will be released, but for you, bro, just coming out of 2020, we're at the 10th of January today. I want to know what was the biggest lesson you learned in 2020.
Oh, cool. The biggest lesson for me probably will be that first believing in me, believing in yourself, having that confidence to say that I have worked on all of these things, especially with my dancing,
Yeah.
and I know I'll be able to dance. Second is that my the family or the community is always first,
Facts.
and then dancing will come later
Facts.
and all of that. And because of the 2020 lockdown and all of that, we've kind of appreciate the exchange more and the events more and and just the small jams. If 3 people, 4 people before, if it's not a big jam, you don't really want to show up if people doesn't, you know what I mean. But nowadays, if it's 3, let's go. If it's 2 people, we'll go, because we kind of like well, that's for me as well. I kind of like cherish more the exchanges now, and that the fact that at one point it might stop.
Yeah.
That was the scariest part, and that was like, yeah. So that's the thing that I've learned, and that's also what I wanted to do this year, is just to get more with the family and the community, and then just be with the people that I want to jam and exchange with, and just concentrating on that, concentrating on improving. Not very much on winning or whatsoever. If
Yeah.
it comes, it comes. But that's
Definitely.
all good. Yeah.
I feel like the best memories as well is like, it's not even like if you win or not, it's like the journey to get there and who you got there with. And like if you're, it's like when you it's like that thing where like maybe you climb a ladder, you get all the way to the top and you realize it's a bit lonely because like you don't have anyone to share it with.
True.
That's how I feel like it too. Like even though like I could, maybe if I'm just by myself, maybe I could train faster or whatever it may be. But like if I don't have anybody like to share it with, then it's just like you know, it's kind of empty. It's almost empty, you know.
You get inspired with people around you as well, and how they do their own dance.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes you think like, oh, I'm just gonna train on my own, be
Yeah.
in my room, and I'll be like, oh, just play music and just video myself. I know if you exchange with someone, you actually grow a lot more faster, because and it's more fun, definitely, and more, and you're with your friends and all of that. That's yeah, I dig that anytime.
All right, last question, JB, which is this is the time capsule question that I give
capsule.
every guest. So if you this is for the JB 5 years from now.
Wow.
So that JB will be like 32. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for that JB, bro, like this is your chance to be like, what would you like to say to that JB? Like, what are your hopes for that JB? What would you like to just tell them in case they watch this back?
Told you so. It's just that my message to them.
Yeah. What's your message for them?
Be confident about yourself. Be honest about yourself, and just respect the community and the people that have been teaching you and all of that. We cannot really do it alone. The best thing is to do it together. Um, we might have different styles of dancing. We might have different ways, but we are just doing it for one reason. The reason is just to express and to have fun, really. And yeah, just don't be too hard on yourself.
Mm.
Just have fun. Go out there, enjoy the community, enjoy the people, because you only have few moments in your life, and you might as well take advantage of that. Take advantage of the people around you and just share with them as much as you can, because it will be all worth it. I'm really sure it will be all worth it. Yeah, that's all.
You hear that, John? Don't be too hard on yourself,
So
okay?
be hard on yourself,
Don't be too hard on yourself.
because that's my lesson for me too. Don't be too hard on yourself.
All right, JB. That pretty much concludes us.
Oh wow.
If you have any last projects that you're working on that we should look out for, any events, or maybe even
wow.
you know, where to follow you, you know, just let the guests know, you know, here's your time.
Cool. Thanks very much. Thank you very much for having me, for sure. Appreciate that. For anything, the project Feel Good. The Lockers New Zealand will be there for the first time. So
Let's
it's
go.
one of the first time that Lockers New Zealand will be included in the event. So thanks, Melanie, to everyone that has been doing project Feel Good. So thanks very much for that. I'll be teaching as well, or sharing on beat this year.
Really?
Every Thursday.
Tight.
Every Thursday, 6:30. Locking. So if you want to learn a bit more about locking, foundations of culture, and the dance, go for it. And I'll be doing some house jams at TST. Probably be more mainly just jams, because I want Zed and Onbeat to do the house teaching of the vocabs. So if you want to jam with us, that's also every Friday. Events, I'm sure you'll be able to find that out. You can follow me at I'm really weird about this. You can follow me at YG_JB on Instagram, or just find my name, John Bernado, on Instagram, and you for sure see me there. But that's it. Thanks very much.
Yes,
for
thank you
having
very much,
me.
John. Thank you for coming on, and to you listeners, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
You.
Woo.